Fourscore and 7 years ago, our fathers spoke forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. That was from Lincoln's Gettysburg Address, but unfortunately, many Americans can't read it in its original form. Yes, it's written in English, which most people speak. But it's not because of the language they can't read it. It's because it's written in cursive. When I was about 9 years old, one of the most exciting things that happened to me in school was when I started the 3rd grade. But in the 3rd grade, you learned how to write real writing, cursive. It was real writing. We called it real writing because that's what grown-ups did. It was almost like a rite of passage. We practiced every day. Now, I never reached the level of penmanship that my sisters did, but my cursive writing is legible. Because you see, in this little 3-room schoolhouse in Bradley, South Carolina, in one room was grades 1 through 3, and the other was grades 4 through 6. In the 3rd grade, we could write real writing. The 2nd and 1st graders could not read what we had written, you see. It's been a long time since that little 3-room schoolhouse in Bradley, South Carolina. But I've noticed in recent years that I would get correspondence from some of the younger members of the family that wouldn't be written in cursive. It would be printed. I didn't quite understand this. My brother, who's only a few years my junior, also corresponded and printed. I asked him about it, and this was his explanation.
Well, I actually gravitated toward printing engineering school. When we had to take drafting, we had to learn to print in a certain style. And after doing that for several semesters, it actually came quicker for me to print than write cursive. So I just had to print anyway for my engineering drawing, so I just printed everything. So it became a pattern for me for everything except for my signature.
What is meant by cursive anyway? Let's check the dictionary definition. Printed or written in running or flowing hand with letters joined one to another. Now, the creation of cursive writing probably owes its origin as much to men joining letters together as it does ancient technology. For a long time, letters and pictograms had been inscribed, carved into clay or stone. But with the advent of the scribe and soft clay tablets, men began to connect the letters together. Hence, cursive was created. Another thing, in the 15th century, the nib pen, or reed pen, was a popular writing instrument. You can write faster if you don't have to lift the pen. Also, the pens were rather fragile, and the less you lifted them, the longer they would last. But the bottom line in the popularity of cursive was speed. If cursive is so practical due to its speed, why is it no longer popular? Educators have decided, with the advent of modern technology such as cell phones and tablets and laptops, that writing is no longer the popular method of communication. Common Core Standards Initiative is an educational initiative in the United States that details what K-12 students should know in English language arts and mathematics at the end of each grade. Sponsored by the National Governors Association, it has been adopted by many states. Cursive writing is not a requirement in the Common Core Standards Initiative. However, 6 states have seen to continue to require cursive. Educated young people cannot read historical documents and other handwritten documents in cursive, whether family letters or legal documents. Nothing says that better than this Facebook post. Six states now teach cursive. They are in many cases prompted by the research into the advantages of cursive. Researchers have found out that students using cursive retain knowledge better and have a greater ability to edit the professor's speeches as he speaks, to zero in on the exclusive points of his lecture. Those with iPads and other electronic devices are not quite as competent in these areas. What does it mean to me? Oh, I think I'll continue to try to make my cursive writing better. I should contact national legislators to ensure that cursive is continued in the public schools. Thank you for watching my video. If you'd like to see more like this, please click here. If you want to subscribe to my channel, please click here. Thank you very much.